our sessions are recorded, so I appreciate him for that, and I want everybody to also do that. So, Justice, we welcome you to the meet. And then we had Pascal Chinon, so who is going to be our speaker for today. So I will introduce him again when the time comes. And then we have Blessing amongst us. So welcome everybody, and I'm happy to meet us again. Okay. Okay, so last time we spoke on what did we speak on? Was it conditional statements and then loops? Yeah, we spoke on those both. Although we not really do justice to them. Okay, I think we did. We solved a couple of problems with it. And today we'll be moving into another concept, which is very interesting. And not just interesting, is the reason I say it's interesting is because we did it in C, and in C it was kind of different. And we are doing it again in Python, and it's almost the same thing, but today our speaker is going to help us break down the concept into smaller pieces, so we'll be able to really understand it. So without wasting much time, I want to introduce one of us to us, Pascal Chinon. So he has been around. He has been one of the strongest guys we have in our team. Yeah, he's a group leader of one of the teams too, and he has been putting in the effort. Most of us have noticed that, because in most of our meets, he's always there to give his contributions and all that. So without much ado, I welcome Pascal, who will take us on our session today. And Pascal, please, I hand over the mic to you. Pascal, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, good evening, everybody. I'm happy to be here once again, even though it's my first time coming for this presentation. But I'll do the much I can to best express myself as pertaining what I've been able to cover. Regarding what we'll be doing today, as formally introduced by Mr. David, we're going to be looking at the topic. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm trying to set something in. Okay. Like I said, we're going to be looking at import and modules today. Import and modules, and there are some subtopics under it which might also be involving topics like command line argument and bytecode style. Now, quickly, I'm going to be doing the much I can on this. I'll do justice on this, pertaining to what I understand and what I've been able to cover. Now, I am going to be sharing my screen. Please, if you're not hearing me, you tell me, and then if you're not able to see my screen, you also tell me so that I can make some adjustment. And now, I'll be sharing my screen for every one of you to see. Okay. Okay. Can you all see my screen? Can you all see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Now I'm going to be using my VS Editor. This is what I basically use for some of my projects. Since it was introduced to me by Mr. David, it's been an awesome software for me. I'm using it for my presentation and also for my own coding, even though ALX does not support that, but I just use it for my own personal stuff. So looking at what we have today, we're going to be looking at import and modules. And quickly, I'm going to be giving us a rundown on what we are to expect in this very topic. First, can you see my screen? Can you guys see my, is it visible? Is my writing visible? Should I increase the font? Is it visible?
Yes, increase the font, please.
Is it better now? Or should I increase it further? I think it should be better now, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, like I earlier opined, we're going to look at import and modules. And first of all, I want to give a clear definition to what modules are. Modules Module is a file that contains code to perform a specific task. In other words, we can say that modules are files that in them contains definitions and statements. There are constants designed by Python to help us cut down on long stretched codes. In other words, what are we trying to say? When we apply some functions, we have the ability to import some functions to apply to our code for easier coding. Our module can contain variables, they can contain functions, they can contain classes, and they can also contain executable statements. We have the standard Python modules and we have the custom modules. While the former is already running codes, the custom codes are the ones that we design ourselves. I'm going to be giving us some examples. Sorry, I'm not going to be using the online compiler because I have tried using it before, but it didn't work. So I am going to be using the editor to do some construct for us so that we better understand what I am saying. Now, first of all, I'm going to begin with a custom module. In a custom module, what do we do in a custom module? A custom module is a user-defined module. And what do we do in it? It is a module that we design ourselves using the function coding. In that very module, what do we do? We design the kind of module, we tell the file what we want to be done when we do what? When we code. And in that regard, I'm going to be creating something here that will enable us to use a user-defined module, which is also the custom module. And now, in this very module, two things are involved. You are creating two files. One file is going to contain your function, and the second file is going to do what? Is where we will be running what? Our code. And then quickly, I'm going to do something now. In this regard, I'm going to create a file, and that file is going to come with the what? With the extension, the Python extension. And let me just name it the practice. I think I have something like that here already, instead of having to. Let me even clear all of this so that I'll break it down in a way you understand. Now I'm going to be creating a custom module using this very file. And remember, your extensions will always come in what? In the Python format, and that is .py. I'm going to create a function here that will enable us to what? Do some additions. And in that file, I'm going to define a function. We already know how to define the function. We'll use the def to define a function, and we'll use addition, the add this thing to declare. This is the parentheses, and in it we declare two variables. And then beneath it, oh sorry, I did not put my semicolon. And then beneath it, we do what? We say result, or even if you don't want to use result, you can use any word. You can use any variable name. It mustn't be result. I can say answer. Then you assign it to what? Two variables, A plus B. And then again, you return it. And return it by what? Return it by using the what? By using what we have assigned it to, and that is answer. Then, when we are done with this, we save it. And then afterwards, what happens? We go again and we create another file. And in that file, let me quickly create a file. I will probably call it program.py, that's your extension. And then when you do this, in this very file that I'm going to create, I am going to execute that custom module that I created. That is what I'm going to be doing in this very file. And how am I going to do this? Mind you, from the beginning of this class, I said I talked about modules, and there's something I did not include. When you want to call your module, you call it with what? With the import. When you call your import, you list after the import. Let me put it down. You write down the name of your what? The file you've created. Is that you're calling the Python standard module, or you're calling the custom module? So in this regard, I'm going to be calling this one we created, and which is what? The one I just created called practice. I'll call it that. You don't need the extension this time. And when I call the import, I will say the result. I want to see if I can make some additions here. Result equals is right. Practice in brackets. And then I remember it's an addition custom and an addition module we created. So what we're going to be doing now is see how we can do some additions here with 2 digits. Any digit can serve. We can use 3, we can use 2, we can use 4, we can use 5. Any one of which you use is going to work. Is going to work. And then you do what? You print. And when you print your result, when you print your result. Okay, sorry. I forgot to identify it. Instead of having to write these numbers or write the functions, I just imported that function I created and then I printed it to get the value what? The value 7. I don't know if you can see what is down here. So this is just what we added. We used the function what? Add. And this is not just the only thing we can do with this. There are other things we can do using the custom. I can also come here to create another file, another content here. I can decide to change this to what? Sorry. I can decide to change this to, I can call this function multiply. And then putting my parentheses, I will say, I will just call the variables and then put my what? My semicolon. And then I say result. I can call it result. I can call it anything I want to call it. And I say result. And then I say A multiply what? B. You already know the sign for multiplication when you're coding in Python. And when you do this, you still do what? You return your value. Return result. And then afterward, you save your file to go back to run it. Remember, you're creating 2 files for this. One file is going to contain your function, and the second file is going to run as your executable file. So now, what I'm just going to be changing here is to change what? Let me run it from the beginning so that you better understand. First of all, I am importing that thing I created, that file I created, that function I created. I'm importing it. And the name of that file is what? Is what? Practice. And afterwards, what do? I do what? I say result. Remember, it mustn't be result. I'm only giving it a what? Giving it a variable name. I can decide to say multiplication. I can decide to say multiplication. And then I say, what's the name of the file? Practice. Dot multiply. That was what we used. To my parentheses, and I can put any number there. I can decide to say 10 and what? And 8. And afterwards, when I print it, and say print multiplication. And when I'm done with it, I save it and I run it. Now you've seen what we're getting here. We're getting 80. So initially, remember, I did what? I created a function here, a multiplication function, and afterwards, I created another file that I used for my what? For my execution. And then, having said this, there's another thing I want us to look at under modules, and that is what? Creating your, that's what? Executing using your what? Your Python standard modules. And what does this do? The Python standard modules contain codes, like I said earlier. It contains what? Codes, it contains variables, it contains functions. And these functions are what? Are already saved for you. Instead of you to go and begin to create these functions for yourself, what you just do is what? You call this function that are created already. And I'm going to run a program using one of these. I'm going to my program. This is the standard Python module. And that will be my mass function. I'll use this as an example, and I will also use another example so that we better understand. I'm using the word the math, the module math, and I'm going to be running a program. Let me just run a constant here. Let me run a constant here that we all know of. Let's say, for instance, you want to print the value of I. The value of pi. The value of pi. We already know what the value of pi is, but let's just use it here and see if we're going to get something from there. And then we see the value of pi is, and just decide to put the colon, and then sorry, comma. Now look at what we are getting here. This is what we are getting, the value of pi. You already know that the value of pi is what? It's 3.142. That is the value of pi. So we are doing what? We are getting this very value again. Being that is a constant. It is already stored in your what? In your standard module. And now when you're calling it out, it comes out of printing the same value that has been created there. So we can also use this math function to do something. Another thing I want us to look at again, in using the import math, is trying to use another thing I have. I think it's also a part of some of the constants saved in the math module, and that is trying to see if we just let's see if we solve something. Let me just say number equals, what number will I use now? Okay, let me use something like 100, and then we say answer equals and dot. Now some of these things I'm using are saved already in your modules. So I'm only calling them forth. It's not like I created these things are there in your module. I'm going to be dropping a link after this class so that we can go and check out for some of the modules, the standard modules that we have in Python. We have a lot of modules there. So what I'm just doing here is to call these modules. It's not like I created these modules. These modules, I'm calling them forth. I'm just calling forth these modules so that we can do what? We can use it for what? For quicker coding and to get our solutions. And then with this now, I'm only going to say, call, this is, what this means is what the square root. So I'm saying that I'm trying to look for the square root of 100. And then when I print this, I'm going to be getting, okay, now see what we're getting. We're getting 10. The square root of 100 is 10. The square root of what? Of 100 is what? Is 10. So what we just did here, instead of having to write long codes here, just for what? For the square root of 100, we were able to do it using what? The standard what? Python module. As easy as it was, as it can be. Instead of having to write long codes, you're just calling your what? Your standard modules to do what? To get your answer. Another thing that you can also look for, aside the maths standard modules, there are also things like the string. Also try using something like this. I can have it free, and I equate it to what? String dot letters. Dot letters. And then I can decide to print this and decide to print this. Just print my library, and I'm also going to get, I'm also going to get this now. These are strings. These are ASCII strings. These are ASCII strings. You can see your A to Z in both upper and what? And lowercase letters. If I do not want to print my lowercase, I just want to print the uppercase letters. What I'll simply do is remove the letters and put what? Uppercase. If I do this and I save and I print, look at what is coming here. You're having what? The uppercase letters. The same thing is also applicable to lowercase letters. If I decide to print just the lowercase letters, same thing will also happen. And this is what we are getting here. We are getting what? The lowercase letters. Now, let us also look at this. And then another thing I want us to know about this is whenever you want to import your modules, having defined your module, you import using the dot operator sign. You must add your dots to make any importation. If you don't add that dot, you might end up not doing making any import. So you always do what? You try as much as you can to do what? Add your dot operator before importing. And the standard of Python modules has given us over 200 standard modules. So you don't have to rack your brain trying to write long functions. Even though sometimes when we want to do some things in ALX, they want us to go out and write these codes ourselves. But when you go on a professional level and you're trying to do something maybe for a company or for a school, you might not have to begin to write these codes in long format. At this point, what you just do is you try to import any of the modules that have been set aside for you already. In that way, you just do your thing and you continue whatever you're doing. Now, there's something I want us to also look at when we talk about the import modules. There's something we call what? Import. Import with what? With renaming. In this regard, what we do is what? We import by doing what? By renaming. It makes our writing easier. Let me run an example for better understanding. And look at something like this now. I can decide to say, instead of having to write this in long format, I can say import. Let me say, okay, let's say, let me use math again. I can say import math as M. Import math as M, and I say, what will I call now? Okay, let me use the one that we know very well. I just say M dot pi. And now when I run this, I will get the value of pi. What has happened in this? I am stating here that wherever this maths module is, that it's going to be running as what? As M. It must not be M. I can decide to say P. I can decide to say P and just change my call here to P. And if I run it, I'll still get the same thing. I'll still get the same thing. And see it down here. So what we are doing in this regard is, you don't necessarily have to begin to write. This math might look very short to you. There are other long codes you might want to write, long sentence, or let's say long phrase or long words that you might not want to stress yourself stating inside your print. What you just do is you change the name, you rename it by what? Putting a what? An alphabet, or will I say a character. I can say P, I can say K, and what I'll just do is come here and change it. And once I change it, it will give me the same what? The same value. The same value it will give me when I use the math. That is the same thing I'm also going to be getting when I do what? When I run it. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So this same thing can be used. I can use the same thing to solve an equation. Let's say I say using import math as M, and then I say result equals M dot, let's say I want to look for square root of, I didn't define my distance, sorry. Let's say number equals 64, and then I want to look for the square root of 64. I'll just put my number. Then afterwards, I will print result. Sorry. Now look at my value here. I'm getting what? 8.6 root of it. Now what have I done here? Simply, instead of putting my maths, instead of using the maths here, I'm just saying M dot what? The dot operator. I use the dot operator, then I use what? Square roots. The module already, the module of square roots. I used it here for this, and here I am getting what? I'm getting my answer. Now this is this for this. And then another thing I want us to know again here is that there's also something we call what? We call Python from what? An import statement. What do we do in this regard? We can import specific names from a module without importing the module as a whole. We import just the attribute from the module. An example to deal with this is what? Let me give you an example. Let me solve something on this so that you understand what I'm saying. Now, how do we go about with this? We can say, let's say, from what do I do now? Okay, let me still use math. Math import square root. Then I say okay, equals square root. Then I put which number will I put here now? Okay, let's say 64, and then print, sorry, print none. You can see I'm still getting the answer 8 here after running this. What has this thing done? It has saved us the stress of some stress here. What did we do? We were able to import what? To import this function that has been created already from what? The math module. We were able to import this from the math module to do what? To solve for this. This can also be applicable to saying, let's say, what would I say now? We have lots of functions, so this is not the only thing we have here. I can decide to say, in this regard, what am I going to do? I'm trying to multiply pi by, sorry. I think I made a mistake here, sorry. You can see this is printing for this because already I'm saying that this is what is this. I'm picking this from what? From what? The module math. What have I done? I have imported a function that has been created for pi from math, and simply I'm solving what? I'm getting this value. And then another thing you can also say, which also makes it easy for you, is I can decide to say that I want to from my string, I can say, I can decide to import string import ASCII, what will I call for now? ASCII underscore. Let's see, digits. I think I've not gotten this I want. There are also other functions I want to call in this regard. Let me use ASCII. I think I should use I think there should be digits in ASCII too. There should be digits in ASCII. I think I've seen something like this too. Let's I didn't spell it well, but I think I've seen something on this before. ASCII digits. I doubt if this will print, but let me just see if it's going to print. Let me see where my error is coming from. Import from string, import ASCII digits. Or is it not? I think there's also something like digits I've come across before. Unless it's not being spelled well. I think I'll figure it out and then I'll know what it all means. I don't want to print something on this because we've done something on this already. I wanted to print a constant value that will also help us better understand this. Okay, let me just use the one that we already are conversant with. Then I say uppercase. Then should we should also print what we have here. Okay, this is printing the uppercase letter, but this very digit, I wanted to print something on digits so that we all can see. But I don't know why it's not. I think I've not gotten the real value for digits, the constant for that digit. I'll find out, and then I'm still bringing it back here. So this is this for this. And again, I want to show something again. Another thing that we can do for the modules is what we call what? Importing what? All names. This is practically for things that have been defined. And in this regard, we use what do we use for this? We use the wildcard for this. We use the wildcard for this. And a perfect example to this is I can decide to say, let me print, let me just say import maths, and then I use this. I'm using a wildcard for this, and I say the value of, let's say the value of pi when I say the value of pi.
Non, c'est pas bon. Parce que c'est le chemin qui est nerveux. Chemin est nerveux. Chemin. Parce que tu dis non, regardez l'espace, c'est pas bon de prendre comme ça.
I think there's an error somewhere. For using this wildcard, there's something I'm supposed to do. I think I made a mistake. Maths import think I, and then I use the wildcard here. Somewhere. That's import file. Let me see the error message. Invalid syntax. Okay. Let me see. Study teacher, you're raising up your hand. You can speak. I'm hearing you.
Okay, good evening. Thank you very much. From math import star.
Yeah, okay. Okay, let me look at it and see. Math. Just star, right? Instead of.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, the value of pi. Yes, exactly. Okay, yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, now from math import, now what does this wildcard do for you? What wildcard does is it actually imports everything, every function related to that which you have called. That is what the wildcard does for you. It imports every function that does that involves this thing constant you've called, that maths constant you've called. It helps you do what it imports everything, and it prints it, even though they have advised that it's not good for your coding, because in most occasions you might end up importing things that are not needed in your coding. But whenever you're sure of what you're doing and you're very sure that when you call these functions that is not going to affect your calculation, then you can just easily use your wildcard to call them forth. And then again, another thing I want us to look at again concerning the import modulus is what we call the die parenthesis built-in function. What do we use this function to do? Very easy. Now, if you remember vividly, we created something here. We were able to create a function for multiplication. Now, there's something I can use this for. Here, let me show us something here. And this is what I want to show us. I can decide to import this custom that I've created, this custom module that I've created. I can decide to what? To look at what? To look at the functions in it using what? The die parentheses. And how do I do it? I use die and then I put the name of what? The custom module that I created. And when I do this, what do I end up getting? Now watch. We're going to get what? These are what? These are the functions what? That you can find in this very thing I created. Mind you, this is a custom what? A custom module. It's a custom module, but these are all the functions that what? That are part of this what? This custom module that I did, what, that I created. All of these things that you can see here are what? Are the functions in what? Are the functions in it. And now I can easily do what? I can easily print out this function using my what? My there what? My there module. Aside this also, I can decide to get what? I can decide to say, okay, let me use this thing. Sorry, I'm not supposed to call it string. Let me use string. And then this time around, I want us to print what? To print the functions in string. And how do you do this? Now you can see the functions that you can find in what? In your string what? Modules. Look at the functions here. You have the formatter, you have the template, you have the table. All of these things are the functions you can find what? You can find in your string. You can see the ASCII letter. You can see the, okay, look at one of the things I was looking for. I think digits. This is what I was looking for then. When I wanted to print something on digits. This is just it. I was not supposed to include the ASCII in it. I was just supposed to write digits. That was what I was. If I do it now, you will find out the digits, the decimal digits in what? In your string. Now look at it here. From what you can see here, you can see that what? That I can easily do what? I can easily print my what? My digits here. So what would this help you do? Whenever you want to find out the functions that are in a particular module, that is in a particular module, what you just do is you do what? You use your what? Your direct functions to do what? To your directly functions to do what? To print them out. And with this now, I can easily do what? Look for any of, okay, let me use this as an example now. I have punctuations here. How do I get my punctuations here? How do I get my punctuation using this? Simply, I can decide to say what? I can decide, let me delete this. I want to do for punctuation so that you understand what I'm saying. Already I'm importing string. And then, if I want to do this, what I'll just do is, I'll say, okay, let's say, it was digits. Sorry, I think I'm making a mistake here. I'm supposed to put no. I'm making a mistake. Let me try. I think I'm making a mistake here. I was trying to print these digits using my string. Okay, yeah, I remember. Sorry. Okay. So I can do this using my node. Now look at it now. I've printed my what? my digits. These are my digits. I just printed my digits from 0 to 9. What did I do here? I imported the string and then I did what? I forgot to use the operator, the dot operator. And this is what I just did. I used the string dot what? Dot digits, and I was what? I was able to what? To print what? To print my what? My digits. This is as simple as it can be. Even if I decide to want to import my math, I can import my math even with what? With the die by doing what? By doing what? By just simply saying in here, I can just say sorry. I can say and then I say I call what? Sorry, the name of the module, and with this I can just print what? I can print what have I been able to do here? I'm printing all the functions in what? I'm printing all the functions in the math module. So easily what you can just do here is when you're able to do, if you print out any of these functions you want to use, it becomes very easy to do what? To pick your functions from here and do whatever you want to do with it. You can see in the math function, you can see the radians in it, you can see the sine in it, you can see the square root, the one we used before, you can see tan in it. You can also see the exponential here. You can even, there are lots and lots of things, even the degrees is here, they are seeing the gamma is here. I can easily print any of these using this, and this is all for this. Now, I don't know if there's any question so far before I continue from here, because I want to see if we can do just one project on this, and that is what using the module to do what? To build a calculator. I want to see if we can look at it, but before that, I want to entertain some questions from us, so it will not look like I'm talking to myself alone. Any question from anybody so far? Any question from anybody, or should I continue? Okay, Mr. David, I can hear you.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, I can hear you, Mr. David.
Okay. And first of all, I want to appreciate you for doing this. It's really amazing. I'm really enjoying myself. Okay. So the question I have now is, you've taught us how we could do all these things, but then sometimes when we try to do it, we may encounter some errors or issues. So can you address us on some errors or issues that can arise when we work on modules in Python, and how we can also address them?
Okay, thank you very much. Now, coming to the questions you've asked, let me share my screen also on this. Now, some of the issues you can encounter is, first of all, when you don't put, like you all saw what happened here. Some of the things I do here, sometimes I fail to put the right string, I fail to put the right module, and at the end of it, I end up not printing what I am supposed to print. And when my statement is not stated well also, these things can lead to my doing what? My not getting the right thing. So one of the things I would advise you do is, whenever you want to use your module for anything, I will advise you do what? You import. I would advise that you do what? You put the right module name, and not just putting the right module name. Take for instance, you want to use a math function, and now just like what I did here, what did I do? I did what? I used the directory for the maths. I printed it out, and in it I was able to see what? The whole functions associated with it. Because most times you think you're getting it, most times you think you're putting down the right thing. But at the end of the whole thing, it's not printing the desired result. So to be on the safer side, I would advise you try to what? To print out what? To try to go use your directory to find out what? The functions that are contained in what? That are contained especially when you're using the what you're using the standard module. You try to find out the function as it is written, and you use it the same way that it is what is used. And then again, do not always forget to use your dot operator. These are some of the mistakes I did. Sometimes I just solve and I forget to use the dot, and at the end of it, I'm not getting the desired result. So what I would advise you to do is, first of all, you find out the functions associated with the module you're using, and then you try to use them as it is supposed to be used. By doing what? By first of all calling out the module using your import. When you use the import to call it out, you do what? If it requires you declare what? Your variable using your dot or operand also to what? To declare, and then afterwards you can do what? You can go for your printing. I don't know if I've been able to answer. Is there any other thing that
Yes,
you want to?
yes, you've been able to answer me very well, but I have another question, please.
Okay, Mr. David.
Okay, so I understand that whatever have an advantage also have disadvantages.
Of course, there are drawbacks to it, because some of the things you get to experience using your custom module is, one of the drawbacks is that this is just what you'll be using for. It is going to put you in the stress of. Well, first of all, it depends on what. First of all, it's a program that you want to run, that is dependent on the kind of program you want to run. Most times, we want to customize what we want to do. But while you're trying to customize, you make sure you do what? You put the right functions. Because the one that have been provided by Python, we know that it is check proof, and it is very valid to be used. So when you use them, you do what? You're able to do what? To do what you're doing effectively. But aside that, if you're going to create a custom module for yourself, you must be very, very sure of your codes. You must be very sure of your codes, because once your function, the custom module that you've created is not done properly well, then you are not going to get the desired result. You're not going to get the desired result. I'm going to give us an example on using a custom mode to create a calculator, and you will also see for yourself what you can do for yourself. And if there be a mistake in it, you find out that my values might end up not coming out the way I want it to be. So I don't know if I've been able to clear that, answer you properly, or if there is something else you feel I should say that you are expecting me to say.
Okay, sir, you've been able to answer the question. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. David. I don't know if there's anybody here that still wants to ask. I don't know if what I have said is sounding foreign to some of us. Even this, I've not even done my project on model. That is the funny thing here, and I am coming to take people on it. But no, shall we take? So who again is asking a question, or should I continue with what I want to show us? Okay, it seems there's nobody again. Let me. I want us to look at something on seeing how we can create a calculator. Let's see how we can create a calculator. Now, quickly, I want to use a custom. I'm going back to my practice to see how I can create a calculator using what? Using this. Okay. Let me see how I can create a calculator using this. Because I didn't even know I could do this until today, while I was going through this, and then for the first time I was able to run a project on having to create something that you can actually use for yourself, and it's working effectively, aside the tasks that we do in the ALX. Now, first of all, we already know how to declare a function, and I believe anybody that wants to do this should be conversant with doing what? Knowing how to use mistake. So I'm going to still use the name practice, even though I would have loved to change it to calculator, but let me just use this. I believe we are following and we will understand what I'm saying. So declaring this first, using the function, I can use my add for, and then in my parentheses I will do what? I'll declare my variables. And then don't always forget to put your what? Your semicolon. And then in it, I am going to do what? And mind you, your indentation is also very, very, very what? Important. And now here I'm returning what? A plus again. I'm going to be calling the function, which is, let me see, let me make it neat. I'm going to be calling the function. Let me use the name subtract. I can still use minus for it if I want. Then I say call two variables a, b, and then put in my word, my semicolon. I am returning what? I am returning what that calculator should do for me. And which is what? A minus b as a variable. And mind it, it mustn't be A and B. You can use CD, you can use EF, you can use GH, any of which you want to use, you can use it for it. So it mustn't be what? It mustn't be A and B. So again, I'm going to call the function multiplication. Let me use multiply. Let me use multiply for this. And then two variables that will come in A and B. And then I do what? I use my semicolon. Then again, I do what? And then again, I do what? Just getting different distractions around me. Sorry for the voice in the background though. It's no vex for me. The environment that I am in currently. And I can't move out from here until I'm done with this class. And then I'm returning you already know what the operation for the operation for this is. This is something we've done on C also. And then from this, I've been able to create my custom model. Now what am I to do next now? I'm going to come here to call it. I'm going to come here to call it. Now, how will I call this? First of all, remember it's a custom model. I created this myself. So what is required of me to do in this regard? I'll just call the name of what? The file name. That's what I created already. You know the name is practice. The name is practice. And then I do what? I can say result 1. I can say result 1. Practice. And then I put my variables. I can say my digits rather. I can say 10 and 10. And then again, I print what? I print result 1. Then again, sorry, all of this is coming up from me. What again am I going to call? The second one, result 2. And then again, I'm saying practice dot subtract. And then I can say 9 and what? And 5. And afterwards, I will say print result 2. Print result 2. Then again, I can say result 3. And then I say practice dot the third one, what is it called? I think multiply, right? I'm not mistaken. Multiply 5 and 5. Again, result 4. Sorry for the wastes, for the delay. What did I use for this? I think it's divide. Let me check what I used. Okay, divide here. Divide, and then I say all I use for this now 25 and 5, and then I will return. I will print what? I will print result 4. I'll print result 4. Oh, let me see. Okay. Let me see if this is going to print. Okay, good. Okay, now look at what I've been able to do. I first of all, I was able to do what? To build my custom module by using the function, this function, and declared for addition, for subtraction, for multiplication, and for division. And afterwards, when it was time for me to execute, I went to my program to my program file. So first of all, I imported what? The first thing I did was to import what? The file. And then I used my what? My dot operator. I used it here for what? My add. And then the variables, this is going to be stored in the variable A and B, and I used 10 and 10, and that is why we got 20 here. And then again for result 2, subtract, and then the 9 and 5 was also stored in my A and B, and it did what? It did what already we have created here, and that is what? This, to return this A minus B, and which serves as what? 9 minus 5. And this was how we were able to get 4. The same thing happened for multiplication. 5 multiplied by 5. And this was how we got 25. Because already we have declared it here as what? As multiply. You can see the operation here. The arithmetic operation, multiplication. We used it here. And that was how we were able to do that. And then again, we did for what? For divide. And we know what our divide looks like. Even in this program, we already declared it here. You can see it. The return was A divide B. And what in our A divide B was saying 25 divide 5, and that was how we ended up with 5. And with this, we've been able to create to create a custom module for what? For our calculator. I hope, I don't know if there's any question on this before I move on. I don't know if this is clear. Is there anybody that wants to ask a question concerning this? Is there? Let me check the message box. Okay, there's no question here. And then if there's anybody that has any questions, any question on this? Okay, I don't think there's any question. And then coming down to this again, another thing I want us to quickly look at is what? The PyCode style. Let me open it up. I have a lot of programs running here. Okay, thank you. I have it here. Now, one thing I want us to look at is what we call the PyCode style. And from the definition is what is a tool that we use to check our Python code against some of the style convention. This is a format, just like for some of us that did C, done something on C. Notice that there's this thing we do in, there's a code style for C originally, but you find out that even ALS will tell us to follow the better style when we are doing what? Excuse me.
Ma grande sœur, elle aussi, elle est un peu dans la vie. Et pas comme
Okay, study teacher. That boss, I don't know if it has solved the LS task, but let's just continue. Let me just finish this Bible style and then let's see what we're able to do on this. Sorry for the messages popping up. And then, like I was saying, the Python style, what does it do? It is used to what? To check your Python code. And from the beginning of the class on Python, we observed that ALX told us to do what? To install the what? The Python style. And that is going to, let me bring out something in this regard. If you look at this very well, you find that we have something for the installation of the Python style. And they are telling us to do what? To install this to enable our what? Our code go in a very good format as per what? The Python style of coding. And this is very important. It is very, very essential for your coding in Python. If you don't have it installed, I don't think you're going to be getting your codes well in ALX. Because after doing it, the checker would also check for your Python style of coding. And if you're not getting it right, you might end up not getting the code, even if you have done the right thing. And this is just how we can install it. We install the Python style using the pip install Python style to do what? To install your Python style. And currently we have the latest version now, which is the 2.10, 2.10 for your terminal. You do that to install it, and then you do what? You use it to do what? To run your code. And then again, there's also something that we are made to understand when using the Python style. They said what? If you want to do what? If you want to see what your coding, your Python style looks like, if you want to see it, you can run this code on it to do what? To get what? To do what? To know if you're doing the right thing. If you have not done the right thing, this Python style will do what? Will detect the error and what? Will throw it back at you as a response to tell you that this and this you did not do well. Maybe you did not put your braces well, your parentheses well, or your column, or what, your indentation. All of these messages will come forth and they will tell you that this is where your error is coming from. Just like we see in Betty when we do our C program. When we do not do it well, we run Betty and define it, what happens? We end up getting some errors that this and this has not been done well, and that you are to do what? To go back and correct those things. This is the same thing we see in Python style. This is the same thing we see in Python style. And that is why some of the things we want to do, if you try to want to do any coding on using the Python style, what happens at the end of it? If you try doing it, if your codes are not well and all right, just like we use the online compiler, the Python online compiler, if you don't indent well, what happens? It comes out with an error telling you that this and this you did not do well. Let me try to see if I can run a code using the online compiler. Take for instance, I want to see how I can. Let me use one example here to see if I can get something to do on this. I think I have. I'm going to use this. Sorry. I want to use something that, okay, let me use something like this. Let me use something like this to do this. Here's my online compiler. Okay, now looking at this now, let me put this here. You say what? Using the if statement, find if an age is eligible to vote. I just want to show us something on this. Let's say if what will I do? What should I do here now to see if I can get an error? Sorry. I'm supposed to do this. I'm supposed to comment on this first. And then, let's say, let's just maybe I declare, I assign this to age equals, let's say, what do I do here? I'm not taking this. Let me say age equals let me see what I can do here. Impute enter your age. Enter your age. And then enter your age. If I made a mistake, enter your age, and then this also. And then again, you're not saying if age is less than 18. Let me do it like this. Print. Let me say F, and then but let me just not even have to do this. Is it necessary? Let me just make it straight. Not eligible to vote. I want to run this and see. Sorry. Not eligible.
Non, cet homme ne peut venir en jeu. Rien n'est encore dit que je ne serai pas en jeu. Rien n'est arrivé. Rien n'est. Je peux arriver au Cameroun.
No, look at this.
En jeu. Ça va dépendre d'abord de mon programme. C'est-à-dire, comme le Canada.
Okay, let me. I don't even. This is still part of the thing I want to show us on Python style. Now, look at what I wanted to show us here. Using the Python style, we have a format for running Python. And one of those formats is when you are doing something like this, you have to do what you indent. If you don't indent, you're not going to, even if your code is correct, you end up not doing what? Not getting what? Okay. I want to use this thing to show us something.
Non, si quelqu'un a pu, si je viens au Cameroun, qui peut m'empêcher? Qui peut m'empêcher? Je ne prends pas les commandos et je pique là-bas, on ne prend pas ensemble. Qui va m'empêcher?
Prince is not eligible to vote. I think I've not gotten F.
Là, c'est un petit cas, c'est un petit débat. Elle ne s'inquiète pas.
Think I did. No.
Parce qu'elle a compris que pour moi c'est mort. Elle a compris que j'avais dessus. Elle a compris que pour moi c'est mort. Parce qu'elle a déjà comment j'ai.
This thing needs me to refresh this page again. What's the meaning of this now? Let me try this. I'm coming with this. I'm trying to. Let me refresh this and paste.
Elle voulait voir si ma réaction, si je peux, s'il y a un moindre espoir, tu vois, s'il y a un moindre espoir, regardez, si je mets la main.
You know, I'm still using what I'm using for VS Code to run this thing. Boy, I'm used to that. Okay. This was not even what I was looking for. Sorry. Now, the only thing I wanted to show us here was just the fact that you want to print this out and this is not indented, even if your code is written well, you're trying to print this thing. What are you seeing here? You're seeing this error message, and that is because you are not following the right format for this. Just like we see in C, this is exactly what is happening here. If you don't follow the right format to print, if you don't follow the right coding style to do your to run your codes, you find out that even after writing the right code, you end up not doing what, not getting the printout. This was one of the first error I was getting initially when I started out on this, and I will finish writing a code and I don't even know. I think I've asked a question on this before, and at the end I'm not getting what I'm supposed to get. And what happens? I tend to find out that at the end of the whole thing, I noticed that what I've not been able to do what just probably because I did not space. I did not indent, rather, sorry. And that is why this thing is not giving me what I am supposed to watch. I'm supposed to get. And if you notice something, you find out that what, even while we do this thing that we do, ALS will tell us that when we do this, or even in the Pico style, they tell you how many spaces you are to leave. I cannot possibly come here and, okay, let me just try to see if I can use just, sorry, I think I'm making a mistake here. I want to just see if I can leave just one space. Let's see if it's going to work. Okay, it still works. I don't know why it works. It's supposed to tell us that we leave a long space. But this one is still working on it. It's probably because we're using an online compiler. If you're using your printer to do your terminal to do this, you might end up not doing what? Not getting this code. Because of what? Because you've not indented the way the Pico style wants you to indent it. So this is this for this. I don't know if you have any question on Pico style. I don't know if you have any question on this. Do anybody have any question on Pico style before I move to the next? Okay. Study teacher, you can.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity to ask a question. I have an issue with line numbers. For instance, the Python code generalized type or the affected type for maximum number statement as in a line is 9. Then if 9.
Study teacher, excuse me. Hello? Your voice is breaking. Can you come close to your mouth? Okay, you can ask your question now because your voice was breaking and I was not getting you clearly.
Okay. I said in Python, the standard for characters on the line should not exceed 7. That's the standard. But I won't have this issue when I'm writing a code and it's about to get to 79. I'm going to break it to the next line. You put a backslash to continue from the next line. But when you now do your printing out, well, maybe you're doing a print out, and when you print, it adds a tab or space to your output. How do we actually resolve that?
Well, actually, I have not had this very experience. So I don't even have a clear answer to this. I don't know if anybody has an answer to this question that he has asked concerning the Pico style. Do anybody have an answer to what study teacher has just asked?
I didn't get the question actually.
Okay, Mr. Study teacher, can you come out with that question again so that they will hear you? I told you before that your voice was not really very clear. Can you please repeat the question so that they will hear you?
Okay, can you hear me very well now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I said the standard for number of characters on a line in Python is that it shouldn't exceed 80, which is the last number should be 79. And now, if your code to exceed 80 characters, you are supposed to continue your statement on the next line by adding a backward slash. But now I always have issues whenever I write my program and I add that backward slash and go to the next line to continue. When I'm making my output, for instance, an output, it adds more space than required. Maybe, for instance, like a tab or other things. I'm asking, what is the actual coding style for line numbers, as in not to exceed 80 characters? Thank you.
Okay, I think the question is thrown to the house now. I don't know if anybody has an answer to give to study teacher on this, because I've not had this experience and I don't even have a very clear answer to give to this question asked. So if anybody has, okay, Sinach, you're original. Sinach might have something to say in this regard. Sinach, can you answer? You're free to speak. Sinach, can you hear me? Sinach raised her hand. I don't know. Sinach.
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay, sorry. I think so. You're a guy. Sorry. Usually I used to think people would name Sinach. Sinach.
Okay. I'm used to that. Sorry, my raising my hand is not about the question. Rather, I have my own questions. I think I should wait maybe after the address of that. There's something I need clarification on. That was what I raised hands.
Okay. No issues. We'll get back to this immediately. Let me just see if there's anybody that will throw light on this hand so that we can continue. Please, I don't know if Mr. David, are you there? A blessing, are you people not there? Camillus, you heard the question. I think when you even see those that are online, know who I will begin to call for this. That they say I should come and take this does not mean that I will know everything I need to.
Let's try and practicalize it. Let's see if it's true. Because I always have experience.
Hello? Hello, who is saying something? I'm not hearing you. Said what?
It's me. Sorry, I said we can practicalize it and just try it and see if we'll get the same error I used to get. So that when people see it, I think they will now understand, and maybe who has overcome his own will say how he did it.
Okay, can you say that again? Let me put it down here.
Okay, let's then we'll put a long there that will exceed let's say 80 characters.
I should do what? Please, what did you say?
Print. Just use a print statement.
Okay.
And then we can copy a text from any place that will exceed 80 characters.
Okay, let me get something from here. I think I should have something in that regard. This is 80 characters from here. I don't know if...
we can copy it and paste it twice. We can copy and paste it twice to make it exist.
Okay. Sorry, my listing is just... I have so many things opened. Sorry.
Okay, I think I might have an idea of what it's asking.
Okay, let's clear the extra ones now. I think this is okay.
Is that
Let's
much?
clear from
Okay. On feasible, right?
yeah. Okay. End this. Okay. Now this is already more than 80 characters. Let's say from where we have a separated, that second line separated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now let's put after the separated, before the buy.
Okay.
Okay, go very close to the B now. Put backward slash. No. Then enter.
Enter. As in run.
Yes. No. Enter. Like go to the next line.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
So now if you run something like this using PyCode, you still have an error. With sometimes if you run it, you have extra space. You can see it.
But this did not give. This one was okay. Is it because of
This
the
one
space code?
we are using something like
Okay,
VS Code.
let me use VS Code to do it. Let me use VS Code to do it.
You don't copy everything.
Yeah, copied everything. That's it. Printed it, and I don't think there was any space here.
My own.
Huh?
I always have issues if you add more space.
Add more space.
Yes,
because
maybe
this,
when you did that backward slash now, if I print from my own, you always put a space between the separated and multiples. And okay, but no problem. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Excuse me, please.
okay.
Okay. Sorry, I was on the first time you called my name, but I was not really on. Okay. So, what Blixen said is something I've experienced before, and then I talked to somebody about it, and they gave me a solution. They said when I added the backslash and then I went into the other line, that the space I'm encountering is as a result of the indentation I have. So what they advised me to do was, when I go into the next line, I should put my text instead of quotes. I don't know if that is understandable. So I'll just I'll tell you to do it now. So when I break my line, starting from the by a space for multiples of 3, I will put them inside another quote entirely. Do you understand?
Another quote. Like you have to create another quote as
Okay.
single quote.
Okay, I'm typing something. I'll paste it already. I've typed it already. Okay. So this is what I mean. So it's supposed to be like one full text. This is a very long line of code that needs to be continued onto the next line without adding too much space. So when you break the line, instead of using your backslash and leaving it like that, if you're encountering that kind of issues, you can just put the other line inside of quotes and it will work fine.
So this is what you're saying now.
Yes, exactly. But this is, if you don't have that issue, then you should not.
So what you did now was to end the other with you're using the quote has been ended here. And then,
Yes, and then you continue. Yes, exactly. Yes.
Is it without the backslash?
Yes, exactly. Without the backslash.
Okay, that's very clear. Okay, I believe we've learned something from this. I don't know if there's anybody that. Okay, Blessing, you want to say something?
Yes.
Sinach, please try to mute your. Sinach, please mute your distance so that.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Blessing. I can hear you.
Okay, so I was saying, just before David replied, I was going to suggest, because I saw another way that this can be done through concatenating. So you break them into different strings, that's putting them in quotes, and then using the plus to concatenate. That also works for printing long text.
Well, like you're going to put your quotes for every word there, or just for a specific number of characters?
No. When you want to break it, right? Just the same way you broke and put the backslash, right? Instead of backslash, you use the plus, right? That's you end the quote and then put a plus. And then go to the next line, start a quote again.
Okay, just like David did here. And then we'll not add plus, right?
I don't know if you added plus.
No, I'm adding plus.
You add
now.
plus up there.
Wait, up here.
Plus before you take it to the next line, yeah.
And then like this.
Yes.
Okay. And it's still something. So
I don't know why this is giving us line space.
Okay. So this one
maybe
is
you try it on the maybe you try it on the VS.
Let me use the VS and see what it's going to give me.
Okay.
And see then
Let there be a space between your plus and.
Still, everything came out actually.
Okay, everything came out.
Is there a must? Is it a must?
I don't think it's compulsory, but I'm used to adding space. So don't mind me.
Okay, but this is still printing out fine.
Yes.
Okay, this is still good. So we can go with what David has said. We can also go with what Blessing have said. I think that answers. I believe this has answered your question, Mr. Dixon.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank God for that. I don't know. I don't know if you will be saying that now, or your position has been cleared already. Is Sinach there? Sinach? Okay, I don't think he's there. Okay.
Yes, boss, I'm with you. Sorry for the delay. I'm here.
Okay.
Mine is just clarification. I think I must have missed this. It's about I need a guide on how I can install the Pico style.
Pico, okay.
Pico style.
Is that the only challenge you're having?
Yes, but for now, so far.
Okay.
Maybe I joined late. My apologies for that.
This is what you just do. Sinach, can you hear me? You can do it in two ways. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, just come here. You can just copy this. You can see that there is a link here. Just click on copy, and then you go to your terminal.
Okay.
You go to your terminal, and then you can just, if you put it, I have it here already, so I don't have to. But let me just click here. See what it's showing. Pip install Pico style. Can you see it here? Can you see what it did?
I see it.
So what it just did was to pick this thing. What it did was just to pick this thing for me. So instead of me to just copy, I can decide to copy it from here like this. And I'll just pick it like this. But since they already gave me something that is quicker for me. What I did was just to click on this and then went to my terminal and then I pasted it there. Do you understand?
Yes, I did.
I can also upgrade the one I have in my system using this pip install upgrade PyCoStar. And then if I don't want it again, I can use the pip uninstall PyCoStar. Is that clear?
Okay. Is there a way I can run a check to know if it's been properly installed?
What you just do is, I think if you want to know if it's there, I think just run PyCoStar.py and then enter. I think it should show you what you have there.
Microsoft.py.
Yes. Just PyCoStar.py.
Okay.
And then put and see if you have something like that. If you don't have it, if you get an error message, the terminal will tell you that you should install it. They will give you a command prompt on what to do.
Thank you. I think that's all for now.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I think I've done justice to this. I think I've done justice to this already. If there's any other thing we want to talk about regarding this, I don't know. I think is David still here? Okay, David, do I have any other business with? Well, let me see.
No, I think you've covered almost everything we talked about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay then. I think with this I've been able to do justice to what I've been given to look at.
Yes.
And this is the best of my knowledge actually. Having to look at it this evening and see what I can come out with. But I believe in subsequent times something better will come forth. So thank you for the opportunity and thank you all for the cooperation.
Okay, that's very good. And thank you very much. I must really appreciate you. Thank you very, very much for doing this. Believe me, the whole thing was very enjoyable. I'm not sure I've enjoyed a session like this in a long while. So thank you. In fact, I felt good being a part of the audience. Now it's just like me seeing what people have been enjoying. And I'm going to be enjoying more of this in the subsequent time. And thank you very, very much. We all appreciate it. Okay, so that being said, too, I want to appreciate everybody too for coming out. Blessing. I want to appreciate everybody too for being out here. It's not always easy, believe me. It's not always easy that you said you want to learn and then you are coming out to learn. Okay, the effort is something else. So I want to appreciate everybody who came out. For those who could not stay till the end, I still appreciate them. Maybe for a reason or that they are away. And for you that stayed till the end, I believe you've gained something more. Okay, so I appreciate all of you. Seriously, I'm going to say I love all of you. Okay, so regarding our repository, we discussed about it earlier on. So it is now online, it is now live, and it's actually different this time. The other time we had all our tasks inside of one folder. Okay, and that was difficult for us to, get the particular task for a concept because the names were just task 1 through task 20 or so. So it was difficult. So this time around, everything is different. Okay, in the sense that when you enter into the text folder, then inside of it, we still have other folders, that hold tags for each of the concepts we are going to be covering. And already today, we already have, I think, about 2 concepts, data types and variables, and then the other one, operators. Yeah, we have tags on those 2. So if you have not forked our repository, please, I will encourage you to go ahead and fork the repository because all the lessons too are going to be live. Okay, so go ahead and fork the repository, you clone it, and then you do your identity updates. We know the procedures already. Then you attempt the task and you go back and create a pull request, and then we get to share our ideas. Okay, so that is always the aim of our meeting, so that we could share our own ideas with each other. And I believe it has been fruitful all this while. Okay, so please, on the repository, if you have any challenges, contribution, please let us try and read the README file there. Yeah, because this particular repository, it is open for contributions. So if you have anything at all that you feel you want to add to it could be exercises. Maybe you are out there, you see something that is looking really nice and you want to share with the community so we could solve it together. You could tell me about it and then I will put it up on the repository and I'll reference you, of course, and give you the credit. I always love to do that. And with that, we'll get to learn more and more and more. Okay, so this is the essence of the community. I want to thank everybody for always putting in the effort. I've come to realize that whenever I call on any of you, you're always there to respond. Notwithstanding your challenges or anything like that, you're always there to respond. Just like as Pascal did today. He was told of this particular session, I think yesterday, and he responded as quick as possible. And he covered every area. He didn't leave anything out. So this is very nice and encouraging too. So for you too in the audience, if you feel you can also do something, don't forget to reach out. No matter how little it is, want to be part of maybe something else in the community, believe me, just reach out and then we'll give you the chance to. Okay, and also whenever we reach out to and say, okay, do something like this, don't fail to do so. Please don't feel, I don't know how to do it. You don't need to know how to do it. Just accept it and then someone will coach you on doing it. It's as easy as that. And in the process of doing it, you get to learn more and grow yourself, not just in learning, but in other aspects so that you yourself, you may not even know. So with that being said, I want to thank everybody. And I always love to give an opportunity for somebody to maybe give a contribution or share ideas or ask questions on maybe on what we have done today or on the community as a general. Okay, so this is time we could do that. Does anybody have anything to say? It may not be a question concerning what we have done today, maybe something, maybe about the community, something we should change or we should add or something you've noticed that we should do, anything at all. Anybody? Let me just count. 1, 2, 3. Anybody? Okay, everybody's good. Okay, somebody has Blessing Chukwuwinke, of course, our mommy of the community. Okay, please speak.
Okay, it's not like what I have to say is very important, but I just feel like if this class finishes and I have not disturbed Pascal, I won't be satisfied. So I just want to say he did a good job. Well done, Pascal. Okay. And I think I understand why he's always after me when my network is misbehaving, because I think his network was really well behaved today. So well done, Pascal. Well done, Pascal. And I'm so glad because I can see evidence of Pascal's progress. I remember when we started studying together, like the progress is just, and it just shows that there's effort here. So I'm just putting it out to everybody that it's a challenge. So many things Pascal taught today, I don't like, they were strange to me, and it's something I'm going to go back and study and some more to understand. And I just want to put it out to everybody. It's a challenge. Go and study. Let's go and study and get better at this thing. That's all I have to say.
Okay, good. I appreciate that. This is why you are the mommy of the community. Whenever you speak, it's like a mother has spoken, and that is it. So thank you very much, Blessing, for that. And true. The improvement, of course, is massive. Yeah, I know some of us said that in the beginning. Remember how we started the community thing in the beginning then? We could not do anything. In fact, we wanted to defect from the program. But today now, some of us are now, those who are holding the meetups. And this is nice, please. So for you out there, please also do the same. Study to show yourself approved, as they say. Okay, so Pascal have something to say. Pascal, please speak.
Thank you very much, everybody, and thank you, David, for the opportunity. I was waiting for Blessing to talk, actually, because I know that her network did not give problems. She was coming to see if my own would give problems. Sorry, dear. I'm sitting on the... And then, for Mr. David, I really want to appreciate what you've done. You were the one that I reached out to me, actually, when I was about to defer because of the seed program. I wanted to defer. I wanted to take my time to see if I'll go back on it. And your encouragement and the effort you has really helped me. And it gave me the motivation that I could still be in the program and still study. So sincerely, it gave me that push. And since then, I've been trying to make myself better, despite the fact that I have a lot of engagement. And the thing is really making it look like I don't have time for anything. But thank you very much for the push, and also for everybody in the community. Blessing for being a body and helping out when they need. arise, and also to everybody that has been here to see that what we are doing is progressing. I want to say a very big thank you. And I believe that in the next class I'll be taking, I'll do better than what I've done today. Thank you very much once again.
Wow. Okay, that's very nice. That's very nice. I'm very happy to hear all this. And please, our community, I want to report Blessing to you. So Blessing has been impacting lives and has been helping others. But when it comes to me, she will tell me that she does not know. She does not want to tell me. She does not want to explain to me. So Blessing, please, openly, I'm begging you now, if I come for you for help, please don't say I should go away. Please also sit me down and teach me all these things that you know. Okay? And thank you for that. Thank you. Okay, so for every other person here, Dukeson is here. Christiana Moore, please, I want to tell us, Christiana Moore is another person that I have who is now lecturing me. I have so many people that are lecturing me. That's why I'm learning fast too. Yeah, but because by the time I meet Bright, Christiana, Blessing, and Pascal, and Dukeson, Justice too. But see, I have so many people I could ask questions. So you too, you should try to link up and connect. So that whenever you have issues, you could also ask those people questions too. Okay, so that's how I do my own. So Blessing, I'm reporting you today. After today, I'm going to be disturbing you a lot. And thank you, everybody. I think that's the end of the lesson today. So if you have not forked our repository, please go ahead and do that and attempt the tasks that are there, depending on whichever one you find comfortable. Because I said we've divided it into different folders, depending on the concept. We just pick any concept and enter into the folder and do the tasks. I think that will be all for now. Till tomorrow again. Thank you, everybody. You can unmute your mics now and do the usual rituals.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everybody.
It was an amazing session. Thank you so much. Thank you, Pascal.
Thank you, Pascal.
Thank you,
Thank you, Pascal.
Grace.
Pascal, you're not answering me. Thank you, Pascal.
Bless now. Thank you.
Pascal. Is that Pascal?
Dukeson, which of the